Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Kelly's Kitchen. First things first, I gotta make me a mimosa. You know, we didn't get to have any yesterday, so we're having some today. Got my Spumante champagne right there. We finally like it better. And just a wee bit of cranberry juice. It's just way better that way. If y'all haven't tried a mimosa this way, do it. Cheers. Best way to start over Sunday. It's juice that's approved. You drink wine. Anyways, let's get to breakfast. So, today I'm going to show y'all how to make some homemade hash browns. Excited about this. I'm doing the hash brown patties. That's actually what I prefer over like the the Waffle House way. Let's put it that way, where it's like just shredded everywhere. So make patties. Otherwise, everything else is going with breakfast. Y'all most likely already know how to do. Just making up some maple bacon. I'm going to fry that up. I'm going to cook up some scrambled eggs with some cheese in it. And then I'm going to toast a bagel, and we're each going to get half a bagel. And I'm going to put some of that homemade strawberry cream cheese that's left over from the stuffed French toast from yesterday's recipe. So if you want the recipe for the cream cheese, go watch that video. It does not disappoint. It was wonderful. So this video is all really about just making hash browns, which I will show you what they look like at the end. So without further ado, let's get started. I've already preheated my oven to 400 degrees, so letting that get ready. And then I've already washed some russet potatoes. And what we're going to do is we're going to peel them. I have 6 small russet potatoes here. You can use red potatoes if you prefer. I just happen to have russet potatoes, so that's what I'm going to use. And also, to me, that seems a little bit more traditional. So I'm going to go ahead and peel these real quick, and then I will be back. All right, y'all, now that I got my potatoes all peeled, we're going to go ahead and shred these. Now, if you have a regular grater, you go on right ahead and use that. I have this wonderful thing. I already put a potato in there. I was making sure it worked first because I never done it this way. This is a cheese grater. It literally has a grater in it. Here's the handle. You just turn it. Has a release and lock function, so that it sticks to your counter so it doesn't move around. So I'm just going to suction that down. And it even has this part to go on top. So just going to, I got this on Amazon if you want to know where I got it. So just put a bowl right under it and then just put this in there. Ooh, let me turn it around. Here we go. And then just boom, and it shreds your potatoes. Isn't that cool? All right, so I highly recommend getting one of these. It's great. It is much easier than using one of these things. This thing doesn't stay on the bowl right, and yeah. So I'm glad this works because this saves me a lot of time. So go ahead and get all of your potatoes nice and shredded. All right, so once you have your potatoes all shredded, you're gonna grab yourself a bowl, a bigger bowl. And we're gonna put all the shreds in there because what we want to do is cover this with some water and get all the extra starchiness off the potatoes, just so whenever you make the hash browns, they're not like gummy. It actually is like good potato, right? So I'm going to cover this with water and let it sit for a few minutes. So you'll see the water is all kind of mucky already. Yeah, that's the starch. So we're just going to wiggle the hash browns around. Or it's not even a hash brown yet, the potato. We're going to wiggle the potato around. Get all that starch out of there. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and probably do one more round of this. Alright, so I drained that water and I covered it with more cold water, and now I'm just wiggling this around. There we go. I just want to make sure I got a lot of that starchiness out of there. I don't want gummy hash browns. Alright, so now that I got that all good. Yep, that's much better. Now, we're going to do the fun part. Okay, I went ahead and drained some of that water off, and now we want to actually like squeeze out the water from the potatoes. So, in the bowl I used originally when I was shredding them, I just rinsed it out. I'm going to put a cheesecloth over it, and this is a cut cheesecloth because they were really big, and I didn't want to waste cheesecloth because they're not that cheap, right? So I'm just going to do this in batches. So I'm going to put some potatoes right in there. Get it off your hand. And then we're just going to wrap it up. And we're going to squeeze it out. And then there's not as much water as there would have been if I didn't drain them first. But I drained it first just to make it a little bit easier. But we want to get that excess water out of there. So just going to strain it. All right. And then what you're going to have then is dry potatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in batches and get it all done and pour the drained ones into a new bowl. All right, y'all. So here we have our potato shreds all ready to go. Now, of course, if you wanted to, you could probably buy the frozen shredded potato hash browns and just start from there and skip all that. But it just has way more love when you sit there and peel the potato and shred it and cheesecloth drain it. It's wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and season this up. So first thing we're going to do is add in about a tablespoon of white flour. And then let's go ahead and add in some ground black pepper. I'm just seasoning this to taste. So I'm probably going to do about a tablespoon of black pepper. I like a lot of black pepper. About 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt. About a tablespoon of onion powder. And about a tablespoon of garlic powder. And then I'm going to add in some grated Parmesan cheese. Yes, I know this isn't real Parmesan cheese. I don't care. I like it. It's wonderful. Doing about probably close to half a cup of that. Okay, then real quick, I'm just going to use my spatula and toss all that around. Okay. All right, and now we're going to add to this 2 eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and check that in. You, of course, could whisk these first. I didn't do that, but just got to get it all mixed in. 2 eggs. And also 1 stick of butter melted. Scrape all that goodness of butter out of there, because that's the good stuff, y'all. Alright. Let's break my yolks. And then I'm just going to combine all of this together. Because you do want a wet, in a sense, yeah, mixture, because you want it to stick together, right? So that's the purpose of the egg. Flour will help it when it bakes together. So will the cheese, actually. And the butter for extra flavor and extra ooey gooiness. So we're going to call it ooey gooiness. All right. It smells so good. I could smell them while stirring it. It smells so good. I like flavor in mine. And I've bought like the frozen patties from like Walmart and cooked them before, and they're pretty decent. But I'm like, like I could do this and make them more flavorful, make them mine. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so now that I got that all incorporated, it's time to start forming our hash brown patties. Okay, so here I have a large baking sheet, which I've lined with foil and greased. Lined it with foil because why have an unnecessary pan to wash when you don't need to? I've already dirtied enough bowls. Just get the potatoes ready. And then I greased it just to make sure nothing sticks, okay? So then what you're going to do, actually, let me grab one more thing. Think smarter, not harder. All right. So I got me a measuring cup. It's a half measure cup. I'm just going to scoop some of my potato mixture and then put it onto my little baking sheet. And then let me take the ring off. I'm going to make sure y'all can see this. Hang on. Try to so I can see it. Nope, just I can't see it. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So just going to form into whatever shape you want. I'm doing, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of doing oblong shape. That's what we're going for here. It's a little messy, but it's kind of fun. All right, get the little edges in. Those are just get extra crispy, the edges that are sticking out. Okay, just form a little patty-like shape, right? Like that. And now I'm just going to repeat that pattern until you fill up your baking sheet. All right, so I got all my hash browns made. Now I decided to instead just flatten them into circles. And yes, I'm making giant hash browns because why not? Okay. You couldn't eat the same amount whether you eat two of them or one big one. You know what I mean? Yeah. So flatten them out just so they're nice and kind of thin so that they get crispy, but you still get a nice bite of potato in it. I didn't end up making a total of 8. I had to go ahead and get another baking sheet. So here they are. So now I'm going to throw these in the oven and put them in there for 40 to 45 minutes or until they're nice, golden brown, and crispy. Okay, y'all, and here we have beautiful, wonderful, crispy hash browns. Let's try one. Ooh, you hear that crisp? Mm-hmm. Make these. Amazing.